You. Just to reiterate, so we'll start once again. Trailhead.salesforce.com is the official site and the training material from Salesforce. We'll follow that. Inside it, after you sign up and log in, you can search with Bong Bong and you will get a trail mix called Bong Bong Administrator Trail. So one can send you this URL on your WhatsApp group. The one if you have
I
not
have
done
already shared, Animesh. It
already
is
shared.
already shared.
So on your WhatsApp group, you will already get this URL. So you can straight away go that. No need to search. But then you will see 3 trails. What is this trail? Trail is like a module complete, and each module will have different chapters, right? So if you click on this, you will see there are different chapters. Like this is the module, and this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So different kinds of chapters which you have, and different modules in that trail, right? So after you complete each module, you will get a badge. So if you see my you are seeing my badges, right? So you'll get those badges and you'll get points. You'll see your points. So go ahead and start learning. uh, Whether you understand it or not, it does not matter. uh, this will give you a familiarity with Salesforce. When you are familiar with Salesforce, you will understand more better when you are in my session. Okay, so it is very critical that you are ahead of me in learning. That will be the best part. In that case, you do not need to rewind and understand the whole training once again. Otherwise, you have to complete this course, make sense out of it, and probably need to rewatch my session, right? So don't want to do that. So rather, let us start learning quickly and be ahead of us or of me in the class, so that you make the best use of our time, right? So admin beginner, in the next 3 classes, that means over the period of this month or next 4 weeks, I would like to see that you have completed your admin beginner trail. Then you move on to the admin intermediate trail, and then we move on to admin advanced trail. It does not need to. You do not need to wait for my classes to finish your trails. If you can do it quicker, please go ahead and do it. Right? No problem. So this is, you should start working on your own. And now it is time for us to get into today's discussion. So when you are inside Trail, you will also get a hands-on org option, right? If you go to your hands-on org, you can create 10 free Salesforce orgs. So what are orgs? Now let us discuss this. So what you need to you will see that you have a create playground button. If you click that, and you can create your org. Let us create the org now, and we will see how it works. So I am seeing a create playground button now. So if I do that, and this is batch 33, I guess, right? Yeah, that's 33. So I will create a playground with batch 33. The same thing you can do for yourself. You can create a playground with your name. This is a free Salesforce org for you to practice, right? And what is your org? We'll discuss this. So we'll wait for this to complete. Takes a while, but this will become your free access to a instance of Salesforce. Okay, so let us talk about what is the instance of Salesforce. Just like you create a inbox on Gmail, you can create your own login, and then you get an inbox in Gmail, right? That is your own mailbox, right? Similarly, you can sign up and create a hands-on org. Org means short form of organization, and then that becomes your Salesforce box to practice. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, good. So
Sir, could you please repeat the org part once again?
org I will come in a short. Don't worry about org.
Okay.
Org is just like something like a mailbox for yourself, right? So if you go to Gmail, then you create a new mailbox, right? You get a login password, and you then can start sending mails and receiving mails, right? Similarly, Salesforce is also a cloud product. So you have a login password to log into Salesforce, right? Typically, login to Salesforce works as login.salesforce.com. Okay. There is a user ID password that is required, but that you will get here. I have created now a Salesforce instance or Salesforce login automatically. And how will you get this user ID password? That is, I'm going to show you. So I am using a launch button here. Okay. Allow this. You can remove this one. You see, get your credentials tab. You will get this. Okay. If you get there, this is the user ID. Okay. You can and you can reset this password. This automatically will send it to the user the email which you have used for your login. Okay. So for me, I think I have used this one, and I will search with this mail. See, I have got already a mail, right, which is asking me to set the password. So I will set a password for myself. Now I can log into Salesforce directly without using this button. How do I log in? You already have the user ID. You have to save this somewhere. If you don't remember, now you see I can log in directly to Salesforce. Login.salesforce.com. I will just copy paste my and that just password which I set up. I can log in. If you're facing any trouble creating your org, get help from your mentors and do it. Yeah, do not be much time. See, I am now logging. It's just this Salesforce instance, or it is like your mailbox. So you I'll save this password for next time. So now I have logged in, and since you are a system administrator, you are directly seeing an app called Setup. Yeah. Basically, who is a system administrator? System administrator is a person who can change Salesforce or modify Salesforce. Okay. Usually, the people who will use Salesforce are not system administrators. People who are using Salesforce will log into different kinds of apps, right? This is the app launcher, you see. Just like in your mobile phone, there are different apps. Similarly, Salesforce also gives you a lot of apps. What are these apps? Apps are a bunch of or a group of tabs. What is a tab? Let's go to a sales app. You see, these are different tabs. Okay. So you can switch this to a service tab, right? Then you get a different tabs. So these apps people will use to create data or save data into the application, this system. But how many people can see this data or share this data? That depends on how many users are there connecting to this org. Like unlike your mailbox, in mailbox there are two people cannot log into the same mailbox, right? Every user, every Gmail login will have its own inbox. People cannot share their mails, right? But in Salesforce, one org, multiple people can log into the same org. Okay. If they log into the same org, they see the data of each other. Any questions so far? Okay. Which data are we talking about? We are seeing any data in different kinds of tables. So these tabs are basically different tables which we have. Okay. You can change this to list view. It will be the similar looking tables. You can pin this table. This is a recently viewed records, but if you change to all accounts, you'll see these are tables, right? Every tab is basically is a table. All open cases. So you can pin this so that it does not change from next time, right? So account, contact, cases, these are all tables, and we'll discuss tables in more details. Okay. Any questions so far? Any confusion? Any before we move ahead? Oh, good. Okaris. So now it is time for us to learn some theory. Yeah. So we'll look at some theory statements, and I will run a whiteboarding on my screen. Give me 1 second. I will stop sharing this and I will go to if you're facing any confusion, any questions, please feel free to ask anytime. Yeah. Okay. This session is for you to ask questions. So it's time to present from a different machine and we'll talk about our understanding. I love whiteboards, so probably will use this from now to learn some concepts. So first and foremost, let us understand what do we mean by CRM. So anybody has any clue? I know Shiva is selling CRM. Like this question is not relevant for his case. Uh, have you ever heard about the term CRM before, Mr. Khan or Shreya?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by CRM? What do you think CRM is?
CRM is a management system where the organizations helps to meet the demands and the wants of the customers. Like for example,
What is the
this
full form of CRM? What is the full form of CRM?
customer relationship management.
Great. So who do you think? So there are two people, right? Here in any business, right? When we talk about two kinds of business, one is B2B and another is B2C. Okay. What is a B2B business? B2B business means a company selling to another company, right? To give you an example, Reebok is a company which sells shoes and caps, right? Probably they want to sell shoes and caps to uh, Bong Bong Academy. Why? Bong Bong Academy wants to run a marathon event, and there will be 200 participants who will be running the marathon. And I'm talking to Reebok and saying that I need 200 shoes and caps. That is an order from Bong Bong Academy to Reebok. That is, Reebok is selling to Bong Bong Academy, right? So there are two companies in picture. So the seller is Reebok, who is selling to a buyer, which is Bong Bong Academy. Both are companies, right? There can be B2C sales also. That means a company is selling to an individual. That means Reebok has a showroom. You walk into Reebok showroom and you buy a shoe for yourself. There is company is not buying on behalf of you, right? You are buying for yourself. So that is what we call is a B2C. What is the full form? Business to business. B2C means business to customer. Okay, that is the individual purchase. Any questions on this regard? So let us see B2B business first. There is a seller, selling organization, and there is a buying organization. Who do you think needs the CRM? Give a try. The seller needs the CRM or the buyer needs the CRM? And why do they need them?
So both.
Tell me. Oh,
Because because the through this system the seller, suppose if we consider an organization, like for example if a buyer wants to buy clothes from
seller
Zara.
is seller is Reebok and
Okay.
buyer is TCS, right? These are the two organizations. So TCS is doing a marathon event for its employees. TCS is purchasing 200 caps and 200 shoes. So it's a B2B selling which is happening. Now tell me who needs the CRM? Who is the customer here?
TCS.
TCS is the customer. That means the buyer is the customer. So there is a software called customer relationship management, right? So somebody wants to manage the relationship with the customer. Who is trying to manage the relationship with the customer?
Reebok.
Reebok. That means the seller is trying to manage good relationship with his customer, right?
Yes.
So CRM is the necessity of the selling body. Buyer is the customer. Buyer's information will be stored in CRM, but CRM will be purchased or used by the selling organization. Is it clear?
Mm.
Any kind of sale, even it is a B2C sales, still
Or
the seller would need the CRM to track individual buyers. So Reebok has to go and purchase Salesforce licenses from Salesforce. They will reach out to Shiva, and Shiva will provide CRM licenses to Reebok. And Reebok employees are the salespeople, service people, management people. They will be using Salesforce. And you, as a system administrator, will work for Reebok to change the CRM according to the needs of the Reebok. All clear so far? Any questions?
So could you just explain it once more?
Yeah. So, who are the employees of Reebok?
is the Salesforce employee?
So, Reebok has salespeople, right?
Yes.
They will have salesmen, right? Sales reps
Yes.
will be there. Reebok will have service people that will like customer service if there are complaints and so on, right? So there will be customer service also. Typically, these two people will reach out and talk to customers, right? Sales and service people, ideally, right? Pardon my handwriting, it's quite bad. I will try to be better. So sales people and the service people are the two kinds of folks or employees of Reebok who will be managing customers, isn't it? Any questions? So these are the people typically who will be using Salesforce, right? And who is the customer? Customer is TCS. Buyer is the customer, isn't it? So must customer relationship management will be required for the employees of Reebok. Who are the employees? The sales representatives can be employees. The service representative can be employees. The management team can be the users of Salesforce, and of course, system administrators. Who are system admins? You are right now doing this course so that you can become a system administrator. Who is a system administrator? System administrator is also an employee of the selling organization who will create or change the software according to the needs of these three types of users. System administrators don't create data or business data. They do not work or directly engage with customers. The customer data and everything will be managed by sales representative, service representative, managerial team. But system administrator will work or help these teams do their business. Any questions so far? Is it clear or getting confused? Let me know immediately. This concept has
So,
to be very clear.
so just clarifying a certain thing, like
Hmm.
TCS is the customer
Hmm.
and sales representative, service representative, everybody, they are the employees of the Reebok.
Hmm.
So the system, so these representatives will tell the system administrator what the customers are wanting, and accordingly, they would.
No. So, what is the job of a system administrator? System administrator job is to create the software so that the sales representative, service representative, and managers can store the appropriate information of the customers. To give you an example, Salesforce is the same software which any person, any seller will get on day one, right? But different organization will have different needs. Different organization will have different data to store for their customers. Like Reebok will store the information about the customer that will not be similar to another organization who wants to track their customers, right? So the Salesforce same software needs to be changed and modified for the seller so that that organization representatives can put their data and get the automation that is required from that software, right? So your responsibility as a system administrator is to change Salesforce, configure Salesforce, customize Salesforce, and implement a software that fulfills the business requirement of Reebok. Okay. After
Okay,
that,
okay,
sales people, service people, and managers can use Salesforce. On day one, they will not be able to use Salesforce.
okay, okay, got it.
Clear? So these are all different kinds of users. Okay. So the employees of the selling organizations are actually they are users of Salesforce, and everybody of them will have a login to Salesforce. They will log. They are users. So the employees of sellers are users. Where are we storing our customers in CRM? In CRM, there is a table called account to store the company information of the customer. Okay, so TCS will be stored here as a row in that table. I can have another customer called CTS. I can have another customer in P. There are three rows in that table, in the account table. Okay, so if I want to store who are the employees that is working in TCS, where do I store? That is a different table called contact. Contact will store the individuals or the employees of the buyer side. So the employee of the seller sides are users, employees of the buyer sides are contacts. And the company, customer company is called account. Any confusion so far?
Yeah, please discuss again.
Which one? Any confusion? Sorry, come again. So seller side is the organization or the company who is using Salesforce or who have purchased the license of Salesforce, right? Salesforce is a SaaS product. What is SaaS? Software as a service. Software as a service. What does it mean? Software as a service means you are using a software with a rental model. Nowadays, we all use softwares in rental model, right? Even if you watch cinema, you have a Netflix account, right? You will go and create a Netflix login. You pay every month to Netflix and you see movies. That is a software as a service. Similarly, In Salesforce also, you have to pay Salesforce every month for all the licenses you are using. You can stop anytime. If you stop anytime, you lose all that data. So you have to take out that data and then stop Salesforce. But that is the whole purpose of software as a service. Okay. Salesforce is also a cloud product, a fully cloud product, or the first cloud CRM. That means you do not need to install anything on your laptop to use Salesforce. Only a good internet connection and a good browser is fine. Okay. Salesforce also gives you a free mobile app which you can install on your mobile phones and directly access Salesforce. Okay. What you need to use Salesforce? Only a good internet connection, a laptop or a phone, and a browser or a mobile app. Okay. Is it clear so far?
Okay.
So you do not need to install anything on your laptop. Only the mobile app needs to be installed on your mobile phone. That's it. But rest everything is internet. All clear so far? Any questions? So this is a subscription license. That is why it is called software as a service. That service is hosted in website. That is it is called login.salesforce.com. This is how you log in. Give me 1 second. Oh, my pen is not working. Login.salesforce.com. Okay. Please remember that somehow it is done. Okay. Now a few important terminology which you have to learn by heart. In Salesforce, the tables are called objects. Okay. The column headers are called fields. And the rows are called records. Any questions? I will use these three terms from now on, right? So when I am talking about objects, actually those are tables. When I am talking about fields, actually I am talking about on that table the column headers. Just look at that. What I mean. So let us see a table. For this, I will probably use my Excel sheet. You can use Excel sheet or Google sheet, whatever you feel like. Doesn't matter. Just a representation of a table, right? See the Excel. Everybody knows Excel. Are you able to see my screen? Let me know.
It's rolling up.
Yeah. So this is, let us create a table. Let us rename this to account. Okay. So account is a table. And what do you think? Account stores what? What did we discuss so far? Anybody wants to try? What does account store? তাড়াতাড়ি ভুলে গেলে কি করাবে? You are trying.
Information of the buyers.
Buyers what? Buyer to what? Buyer is stored in two tables, right? In account, what do we store? Now give me an example.
TCS, CTS.
That means name of the company, right? The company information, right? So what would be the typical column header? One would be the name of the company. Then you can have like phone number, you can have the address, you can have official email ID, right? Different kinds of fields can be there, right? Now I can fill up the role like TCS, then Cognizant, then Infosys, right? There can be different phone numbers for official phone numbers for these companies, and then there can be different addresses for these companies, right? So these column headers are called fields in Salesforce. So name is a field, phone is a field, address is a field, email is a field. That table is called an object, and this row is called a record. So there is 3 records in this object. And how many fields are there? 4 fields,
Three.
right? Let us see this. So if you go to accounts tab, exactly that these are all fields, right? Here,
That is
these are all,
fields.
these are rows, right? Those are records,
These are records.
right? So account is a table. In Salesforce,
Row,
we will call it a account object. In
row
this
header.
account object, we have these fields which we are seeing here, and these are the different records.
Records.
Clear? I can click on any of this record, and I can see the detail of that record. That means all the fields of that record will show up here. You see, these are all different fields. That means the information which you are storing in the Excel format is shown like this. Is one record only. That means one row information only, right? If you click on this, you will see in details that row information only. Here, this is called a tab. This is called a list view. This view shows all records or any filtered records. What is a filter? Filter is quite similar to how in Excel sheet we will have filter, right? Here, what you will do, you can add a filter, and you can say that I want to only see TCS, right, or Infosys. Now I am using a filter, right, on my Excel sheet. Similarly, here also you can put a filter. So you can create a new list view. Let's talk about a new list view, and my filter. I will make it like this. I can like use this filter. I can give this list view to other people to see, use, or I can also create for myself. These are that options. And here are my filters. So I will put a filter. I will say account name starts with Gene. That is the only record I want to see. See, one record is coming. Same, right? Very similar to how the Excel works. Right? I can remove this filter from here again. All the records are shown. Similarly, if I remove the filter from here, all records will show. There are now 13 records in this table. That means in this object. All list view shows all records, no filters. See? No filter. You can create your own filter and create your list view, so that you can see lesser number of records than all records. Any questions so far? The fields which you want to show here on this table view, you can modify that. You can select fields to display, and you can say I don't need this one, I need the active value. I can bring it up, save it. You see, now it changes. So you can choose which fields to show on the table. on the list view results. Clear? Okay. Now,
Are these all records creating in Salesforce software or another Excel sheet?
no, this is all inside Salesforce. The Excel sheet which I am showing you is just an example so that you
Example.
understand that this Excel similar to Excel. It is quite similar to Excel, right?
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Just that the UI is different or the screen is different, but actually it is storing the same data, right? I will show you the example. If I 9874644, let me give you an idea. So see this one. So I will save this Excel and I will say uh, I will I will change the format. You see, this format I will change to a CSV file. This one, comma delimited CSV. Okay, and I will say new accounts. Okay, and save it.
Please again, CSB means.
Comma separated values.
Oh yeah.
Comma separated values. Why it is called comma separated values? Because if you open this file in Notepad, you will see it is comma separated. I will show you how. So we just created this one, right? So if I open with, I am on Mac, but I am on MacBook, but you see this same Excel sheet will open in this way, right? If you open this CSV in Excel, it will again show you the tabular view. You see?
Now again, please, how do I create CSV or how do I?
From
Uh,
Excel software, you go to Files, Save As, and change the file format to CSV. By default, it is .xlsx. You change this to CSV. Okay. So Salesforce will only be able to use CSV files. Okay. So you can import now these three values here. You see there is an import button, and we will discuss import in more details, how it works and so on. But for now, let us see this. I can drag and drop or choose this CSV file. Don't worry if you are not getting this. We'll slowly come to that. So I will try to import these three values. I don't need to map anything. I will probably change this to account name. Change this to account phone. Uh, there's no need to map this. Next, I'm starting. I will discuss this in more detail, so you don't have to worry today. It's a, like introduction to Salesforce. Right? Don't worry about it. So after you import it, if you go back to this sales app and go to accounts, now you see TCS, Infosys, and Cognizant has also come. So the value from Excel sheet can also be now imported into Salesforce. Similarly, you can export the value from Salesforce into CSVs also. We'll discuss this in later. But the idea is actually Salesforce tabs are showing a table, right? And it's rows. That is for
just,
you to understand.
just like Excel.
Just like Excel. You can create a new record by using this new button. So I will say Bong Bong Academy is my new record
As a client.
as a customer. Yes. And I will have phone number which is 3333 333, and I save it. Immediately that if you go to accounts, now you will see Bong Bong Academy also getting it. So you can create a row by using this new button. You can change a row by clicking this edit button. Like I will now put a email with this, or billing city. I'll just put it as Kolkata.
This
Now
was
I changed.
various information.
I can change all these field values, right? Whatever value I want to change. I can directly change here also. I can see www.bongbong.in. I don't need to use this edit button. I can directly change it inline also, right? But actually it all changes here. So if I now bring the website and save it, now you see all the bongbong.in is also shown. So this is where how we change this view. We can create list view. We can copy from an existing list view, then change filters. We can also add or remove fields which we want to see. This tabular view, which field you want to see, you can choose from here. New, clone, this thing. I think the most three important part, and then you can change filter here. So play with it. This is how Salesforce looks like. Create records anywhere in this application. Go to app launcher and use this sales app to create your, and we'll discuss how the apps are created and so on in our subsequent classes, right? But today the introduction is of objects and fields and records. So these are critical three components, right? Now Salesforce by default gives a lot of tables to you, and you cannot delete those tables. So those tables are called standard objects. Like account is a standard object, contact is a standard object,
Sir,
opportunity.
can you just repeat once again?
So by default, when you get a new Salesforce org, that means the organization, telling organization instance, right? The Salesforce instance for your organization. Then the Salesforce by default gives you a lot of tables or objects. Those objects you cannot delete, right? Like account object. This is a standard object. Okay. Salesforce also gives a lot of fields by default out of box. When you use the term out of box means automatically given to you. Okay. Already available. So these fields are already available in account table, right? Account object. So standard objects will also have some standard fields like these. Okay. Can you create new fields or new columns in the standard objects? Yes. If you create a new field in a standard object, it is called a custom field. Okay. So standard object by default comes, those are tables which Salesforce already gives to you. You cannot delete those tables. Okay. It also gives you a lot of fields. Those are called standard fields. You cannot delete standard fields, but you can add or create new fields. If you create new fields on a standard object, those fields will be called custom fields. Clear? Am I making sense? Let me show it once again with a diagram. So objects are
So
two
that
types.
means
Standard objects and custom objects. What is custom object? Custom object is any table which is created by you, right? Salesforce will not provide any custom objects. By default, Salesforce will give you some standard objects. For example, account is a standard object, right? With standard objects, Salesforce will also give you standard fields. Like in account, name, phone, these are standard fields. Neither you can delete a standard object, neither you can delete a standard field. But of course, you can add your own field, like GST. This field is not there automatically. You can create your own field called GST to store the company's GST information. Okay, am I making sense? So these are standard fields. So this is standard object, and these are called standard fields.
Fields.
That means columns, right, on that object, on that table. So I have created every standard object will have standard fields. You can create custom fields if you want on a standard object. Here, similarly, you can create your own custom object in Salesforce. So you can create your own field. Let us give an example. I want to create a field called mm, application, some kind of application. It's not a standard object, right? I have created one. I by default, custom fields also come with standard fields. Fun, right? We'll see this.
Repeat, please. Repeat, please.
Custom object means any table which you have created,
Yes.
right? Whenever you create a object or create any table, Salesforce automatically gives some standard fields. Okay, some like name is a standard field which Salesforce give you. Created date. These are fields which Salesforce automatically gives you. But the whole purpose of standard fields is to create custom fields, right? So you will create your own custom fields. So application, you will create application fees, something of that sort, right? Clear? Any confusion so far? So standard objects will have standard fields and also custom fields. Custom objects will also have standard fields and custom, right? Custom object is created by you. Automatically, Salesforce will give some standard fields when you create a custom object. Then you have to add your custom fields. On standard objects, you can also add custom fields. Clear? Any confusion? So let us see a custom object. Account is a custom object. You see, there is no field called GST, right? No GST field, right? Nothing called GST. How can I create a new field?
I have
I
one
will,
query.
yeah,
Now, in case of a custom object, right, you were saying that there are a few set of standard fields which will be coming as default. Correct?
right.
Now, those are predefined, like it's the same way as standard objects has, like the name and other aspects of it.
Yes, yes, yes. There are only 4 fields which comes out of box. I will show you that.
No, even in custom objects themselves.
Custom object,
Okay.
I am talking
Okay.
about.
All right. Okay.
Salesforce will only give 5-6 fields. I will show you
Right.
which fields they will give. Mostly the audit fields and the name field. Okay. What is audit field? Let us see this. First, I want to add a new field. I want to create a new field on my account object. For that, I have to go to setup. Now, this is the job of a system administrator. I am changing Salesforce now. The sales representative will use the new button to create a new account, but they cannot change the software, right? They cannot add a new field. But your job as a system administrator would be to now, the sales representative is saying, there is no field to add a GST. I cannot store GST information. They will come to the system administrator, that is you, and your job is to now add a field in account. Are you getting your role now? Any question, any confusion? Okay. So let us see how you will fulfill this ask. So the salesman is coming to you. They said that I have gone to account. I can save account, but I cannot store the GST information. There is no field to store GST. And he's right, there is no field. So what happens? Can I create a new field on account object where I am storing the company information, right? So I will go to setup. Just like you change your phone, you go to settings. In Salesforce, you go to setup to change Salesforce, right? Same. Even the button is also looking the same, right? Gear button. So here you have only two tabs, home and object manager. If you making any field object changes, you will work on object manager. There are other many change setups changes which you have to do, which will come under home. Today we'll talk about object manager. Now you see in object manager you will see all the standard objects Salesforce has given to you. See how many? So many, right? Can't even finish it all. Forget about it. I will talk about account today, right? You can quick find here also. If you are not able to search, and so that. So here there are two things. One is API name, that is very critical. This is important for system administrator. API name is not shown to anybody else. A label is shown to everybody else. Okay, so object name is account, which everybody can see, but API name is account. What is the role of these two will come in more details later. So you see, this is a standard object. That means Salesforce has already given to you, and you cannot delete it, this object, right? So it will still be there. If you go to this object, you see there are field and relationships. These are all the fields which Salesforce has given you. Okay. If you see any field where the field name ends with underscore underscore C, that is a custom field. So these are all custom fields. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all custom fields. That means Salesforce does not give these fields by default.
Underscore C.
Underscore underscore C. There are two underscores.
That is
Okay.
the custom field.
Is field API name. If it ends with underscore underscore C, then that is the way you can identify this is basically a custom field. If it does not end with underscore underscore C, it is a standard field. I will create a GST, right? Let us find GST. Is there a field called GST? Nothing, right? Let us create a GST field. So I will create new. You see, so many field types are there. We'll discuss this in our next class in more details. In India, the GST is an alphanumeric character. If you are using an alphanumeric character, typically you see this is a text field you should use. Allow users to enter any combination of letter and numbers. Exactly that is needed for GST, right? So I will choose the text field. I will hit next. I will name this field GST. Automatically the API name is also filled up. GST, I think in India is 20 characters. I don't remember exactly. Probably. I can make this field mandatory if I tick this one. I can make this field unique. What is unique? If you create a record with some value once, you will not be able to create another row with the same value. So if you mark this as unique, then you cannot duplicate the value in different rows or records. Okay. So right now I am not checking required. If I check required, you will see a red star in your field. Let us make it required and hit next. Next. Save. It takes some time to show in the screen. So don't panic if you are not able to see this. Okay. So you have to refresh, keep refreshing for a while. Then it will show. In the details tab, it will show up. So let's see GST cache takes a little while to clear up. So it is not showing up right now. But if I go and edit now the screen, there will be a GST thing. It's not showing up now. Takes some time to show up. Meanwhile, we'll check how it is looking like. So now if you search with GST, you'll see there is a GST field. Just now we have created GST, so it is showing as underscore C, and it will allow you to fulfill only 20 characters, alphanumeric. That means numbers or letters. Okay. What will happen automatically? This GST field will come and show here. So you can see here. Now, if I add this field, I will see a GST field here. Yes, GST field has come. Now you save, you will see the GST field is now entered here. Okay. So now if I enter a new, still it is not showing up. It will take a while for us to reflect. Okay. Another thing to mention is that you see it will throw an error if I test it, because GST field is mandatory. You see, it is showing as required fields are missing. GST underscore C. So you cannot now create any new record into the system because that has been made mandatory. So you have to fulfill that data. Okay, but we are not seeing that data till now. It will take some time to show up. Okay, but it will come. GST field is now available. Okay, so it is now showing up. So if I now edit, you'll see GST red star is showing up here. Red star means it is mandatory. So now if I go and create a new account, you will see GST will show up here. Now GST has to be fulfilled. I will say test account. GST is alphanumeric character, right? Save. Then you can save the record, and the GST will show up here. In the accounts list, you'll see this record has also been created. So we have created a new field on a standard object. How can we create a new table, new object? Similarly, you have to go to the object manager, and here you have to create a custom object. You see, these are standard objects. Here we'll create a custom object. Let us create a custom object called application. In plural form, it will call applications, and that is it. You see, this is for Shiva. So the name field automatically comes when the object is created. Okay.
Okay.
The data type of the name field can be made auto number or text. We'll discuss this in thorough details in the next class. Okay. What are the different field types and what is the use for this? So data type right now we'll keep a text, and that is a mandatory input field. Okay. So if I hit now save, what will happen is that you see the API name is application underscore C. If the API name ends with underscore C, then that is a custom object. Let us look at here. You see, this standard object application has an API name underscore C. That means it is a custom object. Okay. I have just created a table. I have not created any fields, right? But still you will see there are many fields already created by Salesforce. Those are called standard fields. Name field will always be created. That is a standard field. Created by, created date time, and created by. These are audit fields. You cannot input any value in these fields. These are maintained by Salesforce, managed by Salesforce. These are audit fields, and we'll discuss the utility of those fields later. But these fields are also created automatically by Salesforce. Okay. Any questions? Here also, you can create your own fields. I will use a currency field this time. And I will say fees. Length is 18 characters. If you want to use decimal, if you use 2-character decimal, then reduce 2 characters from here. You can make it required, or you don't need to make it required. And do next and save. So now you see Rest are standard fields, but here now fees is a custom field. So a custom field inside a custom object. And these are standard field inside custom object. Any questions? Okay. How do I fill values? So just like account is there, application, right? How will I get the application tab? I can search. I don't see any application tab, right? So I have created an object, but how do I fill values? How do I create records inside a table or an object? For that, you have to create a tab. Without a tab, you will never get a new button. You will never get a list. You will never get an edit button. None of these functionalities are there. So creating an object is not enough. You have to create a tab in order to create records inside that object. For that, you have to jump to home, search for tabs, and you see custom object tabs is the first option. You hit new, choose the custom object, give any type, any color, and next. Just hit next. We'll explain these settings later. Don't worry about it. And save. Once you have created a tab, now you can go ahead and search for, just refresh your screen, and now you will see the application is available. If application is available, you also have a new button, and you can see the application name and fees. These are the two fields which is coming for you. You see owner, it is not able to, you are not able to input anything. But if I enter a value, test application 1 and fees is 100 rupees and save it, then I have created the first record of my custom object. What you see that the owner is automatically filled up by Salesforce. The last created by is automatically filled up by Salesforce. Last modified by is also automatically filled by Salesforce. So these are all audit fields. This is a system managed field, and these are the two input fields which is there. One is already a standard field given by Salesforce. One is a custom field which you created. Clear? So far, so good. Do you think whatever we showed till now, you guys can do it on your own? What do you think? Too difficult or easy?